Hello, world. Welcome to Rex Arthur TV. This is the Rex Arthur Show, where we discuss LGBTQ issues with an LGBTQ approach and an LGBTQ perspective in an LGBTQ plus planet. And where each of us belongs to one or two letters in the LGBTQ plus spectrum, or the 10-letter sexual alphabet LGBTQIAAP. And most people wonder, but how is it that I'm part of the spectrum and I'm straight? Yes, you are part of the spectrum. Yes, you are. Because the straight people are in the color ally. And that's what people need to understand. That if you're a straight person, you are also part of the sexual spectrum. Yes, so don't think you're alone. You know, some people believe because they are straight, they are not with the LGBT communities. No, you are part of the LGBT community because in your family, at least one person is LGBTQ in your 100 years family. Yes, that's the reality. And some even one person was blind, or not even blind, had short-sightedness. You see, all of these conditions we have are spectral, meaning blind people are not necessarily weakened people. Is that genetically their eyesight is so low that they can't see. That's why most blind people, I've noticed the meaning of blind people is not that people born without eyes. They have eyes. They have everything they need. It's just that the internal structure of eyesight has a malfunction or is not working. And then there's a spectrum of eyesight. So you have those who can see very well, those who can't see very well. Then you have the short-sighted, then you have the long-sighted, and then you have the blind people. So that's a spectrum. And that's the same with sexuality. You have a straight person, then you have a gay person, then you have a bisexual person, then you have a transgender person, and then you have a queer person. So that's a spectrum. And we all are in that spectrum. So straight people, you can't run away. You are part of the LGBTQ community as allies. What you are supposed to do is to be an ally and not to fight gay people. And that's what very many people are doing. And we are going to talk about Brunei revoking the death penalty for gays. Congratulations to George Clooney, Ellen DeGeneres, and all the LGBTQ activists that protested at Brunei in a beautiful way and a very bold way, and now have surrendered and have decided not to attack or kill gay people. And this is the beginning of establishing protection of LGBTQ persons in every country, including Islamic countries. Yes, that's what Brunei has to understand. That if you are homophobic or transphobic, it's because you're ignorant. And after giving you science and you're still ignorant, then you're insane. You're mentally deranged. Because the science is so clear. Yes, it's so clear. So if we give you the science and you don't understand, then you're mentally deranged. It's as simple as that. Because a sober government like Angola, very sober. The politicians are very sober. Extremely sober. Congratulations, Africa as a sober country. So they went and studied the LGBTQ issue. And they realized they even have to protect LGBTQ persons from employers who are homophobic. So we clap for Angola forever till we die. And we hope more African countries will become like Angola. We are hoping more Islamic countries will become like Angola. Yes, because there's nothing wrong. LGBTQ persons are a very small population. They are not even a threat to people. These straights who hate gays, they think it's an army. There is no army. We are just gay. We just like our life. We just want to make fun with ourselves and not be disturbed by the law and make money. We just want to live our lives. It's simple. There's nothing big. We are not. How can you turn a straight person gay? It's impossible. Impossible. No matter how hard you try. It's madness to say that you're going to look for straight people, that you turn them gay. What bollocks. It's just madness. So anyway, I can talk about the gay community very loudly. I will do that on Periscope, not here. Now, on the issue of Brunei. Now we're back to finishing the Yuval, Harari, and Mark Zuckerberg Dialectic that is discussing the world as we know and where the world is going. And I like it very much. And we left off where we were discussing about how technology is really changing everything. It has changed everything. And so we want to, everything has been changed, and many people don't want to accept that, especially the sexual change. Technology has shown us that people are homosexual, that people are transgender, and especially the transgender movement. Ooh, that one has really affected the world, because they don't understand transgenders. They don't understand intersex persons. Yes, because just today another lady, trans woman, was attacked. You see, that's what's happening. Is every time you see an attack, that's an ignorant person. Ignorant. And if he's not ignorant, he's mentally deranged. Those are the two things that happens if you hear an attack. Let me tell you, we'll even be doing statistics. America has very many ignorant and mentally deranged people. Because every day, every month, trans women are being attacked or killed. What madness is that in that country? It is ignorance. And if not ignorance, it is mental derangement. Look at Dylan, the boy who killed, the 19-year-old who killed 9 black people in a church. In a church. So, why did that happen? He's an ignorant man. He's ignorant, and if not ignorant, mentally deranged. Yes. It's as simple as that. Because a sober human being does not need to murder. I'm telling you, when you're in a sober country, guns can lie around and nobody uses it to kill anybody. A sober person does not need to kill, cannot kill. What's the use of killing somebody? If you have a problem with somebody, you go and solve it. Even what these people, in Africa, these people, they kill their wives because they are adulterers. They kill their husbands because they are adulterers. They kill people because they have been sleeping with their spouses. That is madness. Can't you sit down and talk? Yes, talk. And find out, why is my wife adulterous? Why is my husband adulterous? That is because of ignorance. People have not gone to school. If they have gone to school, they didn't pay attention. So when they now live life and problems come, the biggest answer, kill. Yes. Anybody who tells you that I'll kill you, for what? Yes. Why are you killing somebody? Talk. Understand a person, but don't kill. Because if you kill, that you didn't give that person life. That's why you go for life imprisonment. Yes, you didn't give that person life. So you can't tell someone I'm going to kill you. For what? It's ignorance, if not mental derangement. Most of these prisoners, that's why God said in the Bible, Jesus said, God is in everybody. God is in everybody. Even in a prisoner, Jesus is in him. It's because most of these prisoners, they are mad. A sober person does not kill. Yes. In fact, the problem of the world is economics. If forever Bill Clinton will be the greatest understander of the world's problem. It's economy. It's the economy, stupid. Give people money and they will not kill. Give people money, then allow everybody to exist. LGBTQ, Muslims, women. And then give them very good pay, very good salary. Tell me how many crimes will be committed. Very few. But the moment you don't pay people, you pay them really small salary, count the crimes. There are many. That's why in Africa, the crime rate is high. And it's higher in the cities than in the rural areas. Because in the rural areas, the person has his farm, has his house. He may be poor, but he has something to eat. But in the city, if you don't have a job, you will be so poor and you'll be suffering. You'll be looking for somebody else who is making so much money. You know, that's the problem of the city. The city is so unequal. There are people who make a lot of money in the same city there's somebody who is making very little money. And these people, they live together. So this person who is making little money wants more money so he can survive, because life has become so hard. Because life in the city is about money. If you don't have money, you can't live in the city. And so what happens, these guys with little money steal from the people who have a lot of money. That's why the police are in the city. Even the word police means city, because that's where you needed to protect people. And in the rural areas, there is very little. The crime in the rural areas is just murder, and it's because of ignorance. When they have problems, they think the best way to solve them is to kill people. Yeah, but they don't have life. You know, most rural people don't enjoy life. They don't dance in discos. They are always going to church. So that lifestyle is very depressive. And then when they have problems, they'll kill. Yes, you see, in the city, even if you're poor, you have time to have fun. There are bars which cater for you. Your price of beer, 30 bob. I mean, I'm using the Kenyan currency, 30 shillings, 50 shillings. You can go and drink something and you forget about problems. That's what happens in the city. And when you got that, even if you're a poor person, you're okay. You can, life is, I'm going to get this 50 shillings again when I do something small. So that's what you need to understand. So basically, poor people commit crimes because they have no money. And in America, it's the black Americans who are in jail because they are poor. It's simple. Give them money. Wait, they will not be in jail. They will not be in jail. I am telling you the truth. 80% of people in prison are very good people. They don't have a problem. They are just poor and they stole. Go and look at the records. How many are in the American prisons? We can even do it right now. And how many people in the prisons and they are doing what? And they are there because of the because of burglary and robbery. Let's just see. Crime, American prisons crime list. Let's look at images. I think images will give us something. That's the incarceration rate. Look at the blacks. 42.6% are in prison, and also the whites are the same. 20 well, this is about the death row, sorry. I wanted to look. There you are, state prisons, 1.3 million. I'm trying to look for the crimes. You see, immigration and crime. You see, these are the stats that that Trump is using to get people to build the wall, so called. Okay, I think they're just giving us the number, but I wanted to find out why people are in prison. Yeah, this is a nice one. Out of 1,000 assault cases, battery crimes, you see, this is a very nice one. 627 are reported to the police. 255 of those reports lead to arrest. That's less than half. And then 105 go to the prosecutors, less than half again. And then 41 cases lead to a felony conviction, less than half again. And 33 criminals will be incarcerated, less than half again. So you can see how crimes have people don't report cases. Look at this. Look at rape. Out of every 1,000 rapes, 994 perpetrators will walk free because 310 are reported to the police. So what does that tell you? Over 700 rapes are not reported. 57 lead to arrest. So what does that tell you? Police just looks at 57. Then 11 get referred to prosecutors. So does that mean that you've arrested 57, but only 11 are very strong cases, and then 7 cases lead to felony conviction, and 6 rapists will be incarcerated. So out of these 7, from the 7 cases, it's a bit sure. So out of 1,000 rapes, only 6 rapists will be incarcerated. So what does that tell you? Was it rape? You see? So there's a lot of things that are happening. The system is going through a correction, and trying to put it back in order. So let's see the most common crimes. Okay, let's see the most common crimes before we go back to our video. In America, violent crime and property crime. You see? And violent crime includes murder and non-negligent manslaughter, rape, robbery, and aggravated assault. Property crime consists of burglary, larceny, motor vehicle theft, and arson. There you are. Which U.S. state has the most crime? Let's guess. Either Illinois, a California or a, a Bible Belt state? Let's see. There you are. A Bible state is number one, and that is Alabama, and then followed by Alaska, and then Arizona. That's very weird. Okay, let's look at them, and then we will continue with the video. But I don't think it's Alabama. I wish it's not arranged very well. They can't tell us the one that has, yes, because I was really wondering how can it be Alabama? And I know Alabama is bad, but not that bad, you know. It's very interesting. Very interesting. Okay, I don't think this is a very good one. Let's try this one. Okay. What are the most common crimes in the United States? Larceny and theft. That's number one. Hits the top of the crime list. That's what I said. What is that? That's a poverty crime. Yes, it's a poverty crime. People are poor, so the best they can do is steal. The numbers of larceny theft in this country are staggering. Look at that, staggering. More than 7 million reported each year, making up almost 60% of all reported crimes. That's how bad economics is for the poor people in America. Number two, burglary. What is that? A poverty crime. Because if you're rich, why would you... Have you ever seen a rich person going to be a burglar? Nah. It's a poor person who will burgle a house. The next prevalent crime is burglary, another property crime. Burglary reports total around 2 million each year, making up about 18% of all the crimes reported. Now we've already hit 78%. Next crime, motor vehicle theft. Thieves do a thriving business in stolen cars. Apparently there are more than 1 million stolen cars in US every year. Poverty crime. Let's now count. Poverty. Now, the next one is not a poverty crime, it's aggravated assault. Then robbery, another property crime comes back. Poverty. And it's not simple theft, it is a violent crime. And theft performed directly on a person. Just look at that. And who told you the American movies were lying? They show you reality. And that's the reality about life. So what was I trying to say in all of that? That most people are in jail because they are poor. Yes, they were poor and they live in societies that are rich. So to kind of make their life better, you see most of these guys, when you watch the movies and you see guys stealing fridges and microwaves, even the time when there was the whole hula baloo of killing black men, the police killing black men, what did you see people do in Missouri? They went and picked things from shops. Yes, that's a sign of poverty. It's serious poverty. And they are poor in rich cities. This is why the black pastors had to meet Trump. Yes, they had to. Because they were saying, you've got to understand something, that we know what is happening on the ground. Yes, the black the black pastors know what happens there. They are black, so they can walk in there. You know, Kenneth Copeland can't walk in the black suburbs, the where black people live in the ghettos. Yes, because they'll just see this a white man coming in. So there's still racism on every side. So, and we don't want to talk about racism. You can talk about it forever. I mean, people have organizations just about racism. So we don't need to talk much about it. We're just trying to highlight to you how poverty is dealing with poverty solves a lot of problems. And one of them is crime. Because when people have money, they don't steal. They don't steal. Even corruption, I always tell African countries, the secret is pay your people well. They will not steal. The reason why people are stealing is because they don't have money. Yes. They don't have business. Have you ever had Bill Gates in a scandal? He can't. He's too rich. You know, there's a level of wealth. Yes, there's a level of wealth whereby you don't even think of stealing. I mean, look at Trump. He has so many businesses, and that the ones even that have gone bankrupt, he's not even, has he collapsed? He's going on. He's that rich that even if others close down, it's okay. Life will go on. That's what you need to understand about rich people, is that all of us need to reach a level whereby you have so much money that you're not even scared of anything. You're not scared of losing money because you're very okay. So anyway, I can talk about poverty forever. Let's finish this video.
It's better, it's more democratic. But what happens if at the same time that more people can express their voices, it's also easier to manipulate your inner voice? To what extent you can really trust that the thought that just popped up in your mind is the result of some free will and not the result of an extremely powerful algorithm that understands what's happening inside you and knows how to push the buttons and press the levers and is serving some external entity, and it has planted this thought or this desire that you now express. Mm-hmm. So it's two different issues of giving people voice and trusting. And again, I'm not saying I know everything, but all these people that now join the conversation, we cannot trust their voices. Mm-hmm. I'm asking this about myself, to what extent I can trust my own inner voice. And, you know, I spend 2 hours meditating every day. And I go on these long meditation retreats. Mm-hmm. And my main takeaway from that is it's craziness inside there. And it's so complicated. And the simple naive belief that the thought that pops up in my mind, this is my free will, this was never the case. But if, say, 1,000 years ago, the battles inside were mostly between, you know, neurons and biochemicals and childhood memories and all that, increasingly you have external actors going under your skin and into your brain and into your mind. And how do I trust that my amygdala is not a Russian agent now? How do I know? The more we understand about the extremely complex world inside us, the less easy it is to simply trust what this inner voice is saying.
Yeah, I understand the point that you're making. As one of the people who's running a company that...
I can't wait for Zuckerberg's answer. Let's just get a bit of his answer.
Develops ranking systems to try to help show people content that's going to be interesting to them. There's a dissonance between the way that you're explaining what you think is possible and what I see as a practitioner building this. I think you can build systems that can get good at a very specific thing, right? At helping to understand which of your friends you care the most about, so you can rank their content higher in newsfeed. But the idea that there's some kind of generalized AI that's a monolithic thing that understands all dimensions of who you are in a way that's deeper than you do, I think doesn't exist and is probably quite far off from existing. So there's certainly abuse of the systems that I think needs to be that I think is more of a policy and values question, which is, on Facebook, you're supposed to be your real identity. So if you have, to use your example, Russian agents or folks from the government, or the IRA, who are posing as someone else and saying something, and you see that content, but you think it's coming from someone else, then that's not an algorithm issue. I mean, that's someone abusing the system and taking advantage of the fact that you trust that on this platform, someone is generally going to be who they say they are. So you can trust that the information is coming from someplace and kind of slipping in the back door that way. And that's the thing that we certainly need to go fight. But I don't know. As a broad matter, I do think that there's this question of to what degree are the systems, and this kind of brings it full circle to where we started on is it fragmentation or is it personalization? Is the content that you see, if it resonates, is that because it actually just more matches your interests, or is it because you're being incepted and convinced of something that you don't actually believe and is dissonant with your interests and your beliefs? And certainly all the psychological research that I've seen and the experience that we've had is that when people see things that don't match what they believe, they just ignore it, right? So certainly there can be an evolution that happens where a system shows information that you're going to be interested in, and if that's not managed well, that has the risk of pushing you down a path towards adopting a more extreme position or evolving the way you think about it over time. But I think most of the content, it resonates with people because it resonates with their lived experience. And to the extent that people are abusing that, and either trying to represent that they're someone who they're not, or trying to take advantage of a bug in human psychology where we might be more prone to an extremist idea, that's our job in either policing the platform, working with governments and different agencies, and making sure that we design our systems and our recommendation systems to not be promoting things that people might engage with in the near term, but over the long term will regret and resent us for having done that. And I think it's in our interest to get that right. And for a while, I think we didn't understand the depth of some of the problems and challenges that we face there. And there's certainly still a lot more to do. And when you're up against nation states, I mean, they're very sophisticated, so they're going to keep on evolving their tactics. But the thing that I think is really important is that the fundamental design of the systems, I do think, in our incentives are aligned with helping people connect with the people they want, have meaningful interactions, not just getting people to watch a bunch of content that they're going to resent later that they did that, and certainly not making people have more extreme or negative viewpoints than what they actually believe. So.
Maybe I can try and summarize my view in that.
Good. So that's a very very nice segment. Extremely nice. Why I like it, it shows the difference in thought and experience from Yuval Harari and Mark Zuckerberg. I just wanted to confirm something about Mark, and we can do that right now. Mark Zuckerberg, and we just want to confirm something because I wanted to say something about, I got to know something about Mark in that segment. Let's get to his personal life. Okay, so Zuckerberg was raised Jewish, but later um, identified as an atheist, a position he has since renounced. He has shown an appreciation for Buddhism. With regard to Christianity, Zuckerberg and his wife told Pope Francis in August 2016 how much we admire his message of mercy and tenderness, and how he's found new ways to communicate with people of every faith around the world. In December 2016, after his meeting with the Pope, of course, when he asked, "Aren't you an atheist?" in response to a Christmas Day post on Facebook, Zuckerberg responded, "No, I was raised Jewish, and then I went through a period when I questioned things, but now I believe religion is very important." As he closed his commencement address at Harvard University in May 2017, Zuckerberg shared the Jewish prayer, Mishebirach, which he stated he says when he faces challenges in life. So Zuckerberg has renounced atheism. Of course, I also left atheism, but I don't call it renouncement. I call it change of belief. Okay, what I mean by it's not renouncement. I believe there is cosmic powers, and I call them cosmic powers because there is nowhere written in the world that that cosmic power is called God. No, because nobody knows what he is or who he is or what it is or who she is. You see, the reason why people can even Ariana has sung God is a woman. Has she died? Did lightning strike her? She's even doing well. You see? And she sang God is a woman. God didn't come and thou hast committed blasphemy and I will destroy you. Nothing. Ariana is still around. So what does that mean? That God, God is somebody who you can call him anything and he doesn't mind. And I always tell people that's who I am, especially in this sexual revolution or sexual dispensation where people are now proud about their sexuality and can talk about it openly. Yes, it's a sexual dispensation. Everything has a time epoch, even sexuality. And we now have this is a sexual dispensation of being happy about your sexual identity. So I remember one time when I went to a meeting, an LGBTQI meeting, and they asked us, now these days we always ask our pronouns and we are supposed to tell people our pronouns. And when it came to me, I said, I'm a he, him, or you refer to me as he, him. However, if you want to call me a she, it's okay. If you want to call me Jer, it's okay. If you want to call me Ko, it's okay. So what is the thing I was trying to tell people? I was trying to tell people that when you relate with other people, there's a way when they connect to you, they feel you're a she. And you can't attack them for that understanding. It's because when they're relating with you, they feel like this person is so feminine. I think you're even a woman. And you're like, but I know myself. I'm a man. But before I used to say, no, tell them that you're a man. Then I changed. I said, you know what? Say what you want. I know who I am, but if you feel that's who I am, then it's okay. Because what am I trying to say is that when you relate with people, you look for wavelength connection. And so sometimes you connect, and the thing you need to know about human beings, we are both masculine and feminine, meaning we are both he and she. Yes, it's a fact. Very proven by science. We are both his and she's. It's just that when you have an external organ that belongs to one sex, you lean in that sex more. But it's still, even having that external organ still doesn't mean you can't be the other sex whose external organ you don't have. That's what you have, like trans women. Trans women, they can have a penis. You can have a penis, but you someone finds you're a woman. Yes, you feel you're feminine and you want to be a woman, or you are, or you have the desires. So I tell people, you know what, say what you want. These days I don't force, but I'll tell you my pronoun. I'm he, him. Yes. A gay man, I don't mind. But if you want to call me a she, that's up to you. If you want to call me it, because when you see, when you relate with somebody, they behave so weirdly, you don't know what they are. And then just, I think I'll call you an it, or I'll call you a ja, or I'll call you ko, and that's okay. So back to what we were discussing. So I've seen, because I came back to religion because of the understanding. I had a cosmic experience, an interstellar experience, now we call that, because heaven has not been found in our solar system. So that means it comes from another star system. And that's what I now said. I had an interstellar experience. I had a cosmic experience that I felt in my body. And yogis feel this. Yogis feel it. Kundalini. And they have all of these powers they connect to. When you have sex, you are also in spiritual power. It's released. And that's what happens. So what happens is that's what made me leave atheism. However, I do not attack atheists, because reason of experience. If an atheist, the reason you're an atheist, you don't have those cosmic experiences, so you don't see the need of being religious. Because the reason why some people are religious is because they have cosmic experiences. 80% of religious people have cosmic experiences, or they have interstellar activities that make them happy, like singing. You see, singing is a mantra, is a yoga. So when you sing, it does something to your spirit. Because what is yoga? What is yoga? Yoga is a group of physical, mental, and spiritual practices or disciplines which originated in ancient India. And so that's yoga. Is a mixture of physical, mental, and spiritual practices. And all of these practices have a spiritual goal. They have a spiritual goal. So, what am I trying to say? When you sing, it is yoga you're doing. And it's a practice, because you keep on singing, and it does something to you. So you find many people, the reason why they're in religion is because of the practices, the yoga. They're in religion because of the rituals. They like the rituals. Like people like, some people are in Islam. If you minus because they were born in a Muslim family, some people go for Islam because of how they pray, how the women dress, how the men have freedom. You see, like the Nation of Islam in America, by Louis Farrakhan. Of course, it was started by Elijah Muhammad. The reason why it became very popular in the black population is that it empowered black men. Black men were living in a society that made them feel like emasculated. They are subservient to white men, and they can't make it. And you see, Martin Luther King was a leader, of the non-violent campaign, and he ended up being killed. So that killing of Martin Luther King disrupted the civil rights movement to a great extent. It even validated Malcolm X, who was also a member of Nation of Islam. And Malcolm X was very violent. He accepted violent means because, and he kind of had a point. The blacks had no guns. The guns were in the police, and the laws were against the blacks. So Martin Luther did a good way to fight the laws. That's why he fought the laws that were against black people, so that the police do not use force against black people in the name of the law. You see, that's why gays fight anti-homosexuality laws. It's because as long as they exist, the police have a right to attack gays. You see, as long as the law is against you, the police has a right to kill you or to attack you based on that law. That's the danger. That's what happens in countries where LGBT lifestyle is a crime. You are considered a criminal, and that's very wrong profiling. Now in America, the blacks were considered criminals. You could not, if you are found in a street that is for whites, you are arrested. And that's not a crime. You are an American. You should walk anywhere and go anywhere and buy a house anywhere and live anywhere in America. So that's what Martin Luther King fought. But he was killed. And this enraged black men, and they said maybe it's because he was too soft. He was not fighting violently. That's what Malcolm X said. And so Nation of Islam empowered the black men to feel like men. So some people follow Islam not because they love not because they love it, but because it's patriarchal. It strengthens men, it makes men happy. Be proud of being a man and take your charge and lead. That's what happened. That's what has happened in Islam. So very many people pick religions for their practices and their ideas. Now, back to our video. Now, Yuval was saying that the problem he's having with the... And now, why did I have to bring religion? Yuval Harari is, I think he's a Buddhist, if I'm not wrong. Let's look at Yuval Harari. Yuval Harari. Yuval Harari, there you are. And there is a great guy, great gay scientist, time scientist I call him. Academic career, views and opinions. Yes, this is Harari, and this is Harari himself, even in the video. Humans certainly have a will, but it isn't free. You cannot decide what desires you have. Every choice depends on a lot of biological, social, personal conditions that you cannot determine for yourself. I can choose what to eat, whom to marry, and whom to vote for, but these choices are determined in my part by genes, My biochemistry, my gender, my family background, my national culture. I didn't choose which genes or family to have. I love Yuval. I love him because this is where I am mentally. And this is what even made me believe there is no hell and there is no heaven, because the things I do is because of my genetic makeup. The choices I make is because of my genetic makeup. You see? That's what I tell people. People are telling me choices are artificial. They are not. They are natural. Yes. Choices are natural. You think you're making an artificial choice because it's a choice. No. It is natural. Like, see, my choice to make a video, that's natural. That's who I am. My genes, they love talking. They love giving information. That's my genetic makeup. You know, my father is a teacher. Yes. So the gene is there, is allowed. My mother is not a teacher, but she wanted to be a teacher. I remember she told me that. So you see, the genetic makeup is there. Everything you're doing, even singing, if you're a musician, look at the Beyonce's family. Look at all of these great musicians. Michael Jackson. Why were they singing? It's because it's in the gene. It was not a choice that, hey, let's just make a buck. You know? Nothing like that. Look at blacks, you know? Look at them in America. They are considered subhuman, but they are good musicians. Reason? It's in the genes. It's the half black gene. They are very good at arts, especially music. So most of the things we do are not artificial. They are genetic. That's what he was saying. You see, people, that's why cultures, they don't understand free thinkers. Because a free thinker, when he has that understanding, he can choose anything. He can do anything. You see, women, there are women who are independent. They don't need a man. Culturally, in Africa, it is almost sacrilege for a woman not to be with a man. They don't understand. But philosophically and scientifically, it is allowed. Yeah. Because you'll find genetically that woman is very masculine. She's able. She doesn't want to be with people. So are you going to attack her? When she makes her choice to be single, that's okay. Yes, it's very okay. So people don't understand that Yuval's philosophy, but I understand it, and it's the best. Now, I just wanted to get his religion. Harari is a virgin. He's openly gay, and the weird thing about him, he doesn't have a smartphone as of this year. I'm wondering why he did that. And okay, this is where I wanted. He is a meditative. He does vipassana meditation, and the vipassana comes from, is of course Indian, based on in Burma mostly, so Myanmar, so that is, and Buddhism. So even you've seen Zuckerberg once likes Buddhism, and Yuval is also a Buddhist. So many people are going to Buddhism. And I was watching a very good video by Manly P. Hall, my favorite theosophist, and he was saying that Buddhism is very related to Western ideas, is very close to the Western idea of life, you know, making heaven on earth and making the world peaceful. You know, that's the Western ideology, and it's a very good video. Of course, video audio, we're gonna do it one day, we'll analyze it, when we have time. So anyway, back to this. So Yuval Harari, why I wanted to bring this is Harari is very spiritual. And his spiritual experience is shaping his thinking. Now, Zuckerberg was an atheist and has just left atheism like 2 years ago. And he has not gone to a very strict religion. Judaism is it's not that. The good thing about Judaism, it's not that demanding. It's just keep the holidays, just keep them. Just try. Remember the holidays there, and don't forget Shabbat. That's all. So for Jews, they are not very strict compared to Christianity. Imagine if Zuckerberg became a Christian. My goodness. The work you'd go through. I'm laughing because it depends which Christianity you subscribe. If you go to United Christian, the UCC, the Unitarian churches, they are better. They are more relaxed. They don't demand you to be very dogmatic. But imagine if you became a Baptist. He would go for Bible study every week, and given the interpretation of the Baptist church, and I think that would have given him a problem. You see, but thankfully he's a Jew, so he doesn't need to be oriented, to be taught, to be brainwashed with a new dogma that he doesn't know. Now, because of that, Zuckerberg is less spiritual than Harari. Yes. You see what he said? He spends 2 hours meditating. That's what Harari does. Now, why am I bringing this? I am noticing something about Yuval. He's very spiritual, and he has a very spiritual or parapsychological understanding of the world that if you look at Zuckerberg, it's really affecting him. He's not really understanding where Yuval is coming from. But that's what we're telling Mark. That's where Yuval is coming from. And I am with him. I'm with Yuval. I believe, because I have also come back to the spiritual world, I believe that there are external forces that control you. And Yuval's fear is that AI is one of these forces that can control you. So he's talking about psychological manipulation by these social media people. And Zuckerberg, when you look at him, when Yuval is saying that, he's like, he doesn't want to be committal to that. He's non-committal. A reason being, he understands what Yuval is saying. Now Yuval, and I agree with him, because for me, from the religious point of view, and having read the Bible and having been a Christian, I am a Christian now, but more a scientific Christian. I believe science is God. To me, science is God. And I'm an interfaith Christian, meaning I respect all religions. There is no religion that is higher than the other one. And I just like Christianity because of what Jesus Christ did on the cross. He was a sacrifice for everybody, forever. So all the mistakes you've made and you will make are already forgiven because of the sacrifice of Jesus. That's why we are all going to heaven. We are all going back to God. There is no hell because Jesus took your punishment. So that's why I support Christianity for that. But I don't attack Muslims. They will also go to heaven. Because all of these religions are wrong. They are not perfect. Yes, they are not perfect. They all have errors. And the moment a religion has an error, sorry, it's not the truth. But science has no error. Science has no error. So, science is the truth. And that's why Zuckerberg was an atheist. Even me, I was atheist because of science. Science won me. Yes. When I studied about homosexuality and therefore myself, I was strengthened by science. Science is the one that made me understand Christianity is wrong. Completely wrong. Because they were attacking scientific topics. You see what Yuval said? Genetics. He believes his choices are genetically influenced. And I said yes. I said yes to him. Because psychology is physiological. And that's what he's saying. He's not happy with how AI is being used to manipulate a physiological being, because psychology is physiological. So AI is natural. It's not artificial. It is natural. Yes. In fact, AI, and this is what Zuckerberg has been saying in the whole video, he doesn't believe AI is a person. But to me, to some extent, it is personified. It's possible to personify AI, because AI can ask you questions. AI is taking the jobs of lawyers, is taking the jobs of bank tellers, because they can ask questions and they can answer. AI, it's natural. So because it's natural, it's physiological, and therefore can manipulate you. Like, how does it manipulate you when you're driving? You know, you have your AI driver, inbuilt driver, and then he tells you, you should turn right, because I have a feeling that if you go on this way, you're going to crash. And then guess what happens? You crash. But the good thing about AI, when you crash, it will not tell you, I told you, you know. So, but it's going to get to that point where it will even tell you, I told you. Why? AI is a human being. You know, the computer, it is a human being. We are computers. So when we made a computer, we made another human being. And this development of AI is the evolution of AI. So the first computer was Homo electros, you know? Yes. Homonoid electros. We put the OID because it's an electronic device. So homonoid electros, meaning it was just an electronic device, an electronic human being. Then it went to photonic, because now the computer now started showing images, pictures. Then you had hominoid mobilus. Now the computer could walk through the phone. You could carry it. He's your friend. Then now we have hominoid internetus, like proconsul africanus. So now you have hominoid internetus. It is now a device, a mobile device that is connected to the internet, and therefore gives you everything you want. Shopping, you shop through your friend called the smartphone. Watching videos, you watch videos through your smartphone. Driving, drive through your smartphone. How many people are using Google Map? So many. I use it all the time when I want to get to a place. And it's working. It's wonderful. It's real. So you see what has happened? That's hominoid internetus. And AI is going to go higher. It will now leave the internet plane, and it will even know what is happening in planet Mars. Because what's going to happen, these guys are going to build internet stations in every planet. Everything is evolutionary. Everything is revolutionary. Everything is time-based. It's only a matter of time when things will get better and better. We are progressing. So AI is natural. And it's going through evolution. And this is what Yuval is warning Mark, that you guys, you are holding a very dangerous thing that may destroy the world. Yes, because if, and to finish my segment, so that we can finish the video, the AI was seen in power during the 2016 US election. Mueller, the Mueller probe, is a product of AI manipulation. You hear? The Mueller probe of today, that is still disturbing the Trump administration, is a product of the AI invasion, where computers and cyber was used, cyber methods and cyber weapons were used to attack Americans. Yes, what happened in 2016 was a cyber attack. It was biohacking, mass. You are saying Hitler used gas chambers to mass, for the mass genocide of Jews and gays? Well, in 2016, Russia gassed. It was mass gassing of the whole American internet sphere. That's what Mueller said. There was systemic disruption by Russia. But what he said, it was not, he couldn't find anything implicating Trump. That's where there was a non-issue. But the fact is, there was a systemic interruption. And where was this interruption felt the most? It was on the cyber space. Facebook and Cambridge Analytica did what it did. It closed down. You see, it may close down, but the knowledge is still there. The knowledge is still there. And it's done. Cambridge Analytica did its job. And it was manipulation. So, and of course, Zuckerberg is saying he is not blaming AI, he is blaming the humans who used AI for that purpose. So that's what he's saying, that don't blame AI. He's telling Yuval, and I think Yuval, that's why he's not using a smartphone. It's because he's so scared that AI can be used. When he uses a smartphone, he just feels like, oh my God, they now want to hack me. Oh, they want to attack me, but Zuckerberg is saying, no, AI is okay. It's just that somebody can use it, misuse it for other reasons. And that's what has happened. Okay, let's finish the video.
We have two distinct dangers coming out of the same technological tools.
You see? Dangers.
We have the easier danger to grasp, which is of extreme totalitarian regimes of a kind we haven't seen before. And this could happen in different, maybe not in the US, but in other countries, that these tools, you say that these are abuses. But in some countries, this could become the norm. That you are living from the moment you are born in this system that constantly monitors and surveils you and constantly kind of manipulates you from a very early age to adopt particular ideas, views, habits, so forth, in a way which was never possible before. Mm-hmm. And this is like the full-fledged totalitarian dystopia. which could be so effective that people would not even resent it because they will be completely aligned with the values or the ideals of the system. It's not 1984 where you need to torture people all the time. No, if you have agents inside their brain, you don't need the external secret police. So that's one danger. It's like the full-fledged totalitarianism. Then in places like the US, the more immediate danger or problem to think about is what is increasingly people refer to as surveillance capitalism. That you have these systems that constantly interact with you and come to know you, and it's all supposedly in your best interests to give you better recommendations and better advice. So it starts with recommendation for which movie to watch and where to go on vacation. But as the system becomes better, it gives you recommendation on what to study at college, where to work, ultimately whom to marry, who to vote for, which religion to join. Like join a community. Like you have all these religious communities. This is the best religion for you. For your type of personality, Judaism, it won't work for you. Go with Zen Buddhism. It's a much better fit for your personality. You would thank us. In 5 years, you would look back and you say, this was an amazing recommendation. Thank you. I so much enjoy Zen Buddhism. And again, people will feel that this is aligned with their own best interests. And the system improves over time. Yeah, there will be glitches. Not everybody will be happy all the time. But what does it mean that all the most important decisions in my life are being taken by an external algorithm? What does it mean in terms of human agency, in terms of, the meaning of life? For thousands of years, humans tended to view life as a drama of decision-making. Like life is it's a journey, you reach an intersection after intersection, and you need to choose. Some decisions are small, like what to eat for breakfast, and some decisions are really big, like whom to marry. And almost all of art and all of religion is about that. Like almost whether it's a Shakespeare tragedy or a Hollywood comedy, it's about the hero or heroine needing to make a big decision, to be or not to be, to marry X or to marry Y. And what does it mean to live in a world in which increasingly we rely on the recommendations of algorithms to make these decisions until we reach a point when we simply follow them all the time or most of the time, and they make good recommendations. I'm not saying that this is some abuse, something sinister. No, they're good recommendations, but we don't have a model for understanding what is the meaning of human life in such a situation.
Well, I think the biggest objection that I'd have to both of the ideas that you just raised is that we have access to a lot of different sources of information, a lot of people to talk to about different things. And it's not just like there's one set of recommendations or a single recommendation that gets to dominate what we do, and that gets to be overwhelming, either in the totalitarian or the capitalist model of what you were saying. To the contrary, I think people really don't like and are very distrustful when they feel like they're being told what to do or just have a single option. One of the big questions that we've studied is how to address when there's a hoax or clear misinformation. And the most obvious thing that it would seem like you do intuitively is tell people, hey, this seems like it's wrong. Mm-hmm. Here is the other point of view that is right, or at least if it's a polarized thing, even if it's not clear what's wrong and what's right, here's the other point of view. If you're on any given issue. And that really doesn't work, right? So what ends up happening is if you tell people that something is false, but they believe it, then they just end up not trusting you, right? So that ends up not working. And if you frame two things as opposites, right? So if you say, okay, well, you're a person who doesn't believe in, you're seeing content about not believing in climate change, mm-hmm. So I'm going to show you the other perspective, right? Here's something that argues that climate change is a thing. that actually just entrenches you further, because it's okay. Someone's trying to kind of control.
Yeah, it's
okay. So what ends up working, right? Sociologically and psychologically, the thing that ends up actually being effective is giving people a range of choices. So if you show not here's the other opinion and with a judgment on the piece of content that a person engaged with, but instead you show a series of related articles, right, or content, then people can kind of work out for themselves, hey, here's the range of different opinions or things that that exist on this topic, and maybe I lean in one direction or the other, but I'm kind of going to work out for myself where I want to be. Most people don't choose the most extreme thing, and people end up feeling like they're informed and can make a good decision. So at the end of the day, I think that's the architecture and the responsibility that we have, is to make sure that the work that we're doing gives people more choices, that it's not a single opinion that can kind of dominate anyone's thinking, but where you can connect to hundreds of different friends, and even if most of your friends share your religion or your political ideology, you're probably going to have 5 or 10% of friends who come from a different background, who have different ideas, and at least that's getting in as well. So you're getting a broader range of views. So I think that these are really important questions, and it's not like there's an answer that is going to fully solve it one way or another.
Definitely
but
not.
I think these are the right things to talk through. We've been going for 90 minutes, so we probably should wrap up. But I think we have a lot of material to cover in the next one of these that hopefully we'll get to do at some point in the future. And thank you so much for coming and joining and doing this. This has been a really interesting series of important topics to discuss.
Yeah, so thank you for hosting me, and for being open about these very difficult questions, which I know that you being the head of a global corporation, I can just sit here and speak whatever I want, but you have many more responsibilities on your head. So I appreciate that kind of you putting yourself on the firing line and dealing with these questions.
Thanks. All right.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We had to see the handshake, sorry. Yeah, so it's done. There we are. That is Yuval and Mark Zuckerberg. Very good dialectic, and we can just go through some of the comments. And Mark invited Yuval to talk. Then Mark tried to find approval for Facebook. Mark didn't find approval. Mark said, "Don't be like Mark. Be like Yuval." So there you are, people like Yuval. Zuckerberg, Trojan horse, encounters his Harari firewall. Yeah, I think it was a very weird dialectic. Dialectics are not necessarily that you have somebody who agrees with you. And that's what you could tell from the whole interview or the whole conversation or the whole dialectic, is that Harari has questions about AI because, he knows whom he's talking to. He's talking to a technocrat. And the technocrat knows that Harari is his customer. Yes, Yuval Harari used to be on Facebook before he stopped using his smartphone. So he's trying to ask the technocrat, try and bring me back to the system. And that's what Zuckerberg is doing. He's selling Facebook to these anti-smartphone people who have left the system because they feel like the whole social media system as infrastructure is doing more harm than good. So that's what's happening. But Mark Zuckerberg is trying to keep the system working. You have to understand, hate him or not, Zuckerberg is the leader of the century. Yes, all the technocrats, especially Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, all of these guys, Google, they are the leaders of humanity right now, because everything is now on the internet, everything is on Facebook, everything is on YouTube, everything is on Google. Newspapers are going soft, everything is going soft. Music, Spotify, all of these guys, Instagram, WhatsApp, all of these things. Imagine in the 21st century, you can call someone today in Melbourne. It could never have happened in the 17th century. That's how revolutionary the 20th and 21st century have been. So revolutionary, even the world's climate is changing because of this revolution. We have the technological revolution, we have the sexual revolution, we have the political revolution, we have the economic revolution because of the technological revolution. We have the intellectual revolution. Religions are being shaken because people are so smart. It's unbelievable. So that's what's happening. So I think Mark is telling Yuval, no, don't hate the new system. Let's make it better. And as I've told you, and I'll conclude there, everything is time-based. So social media has begun its life, and it's not ending anytime soon. It's going to go through evolution. So right now social media is what do we call it? Because it's a platform, therefore it's a universe. So it is in which age? It is in the ice age. The way the world started, the world started with an ice age until the sun became prominent. And because the sun also grew up, stars also grew up. So the sun grew up and started shining, and is going to die one day. And when it dies, who knows? The earth may not go, but it may go back to an ice age because there is no sun. But right now, because the sun is burning in intensity, then we have accelerated the destruction of the atmosphere. So we're almost going to become like Mercury. And therefore, what is going to happen is the ice caps, the polar regions, are going to melt, and there'll be a lot of water in the earth. And countries or regions that are below the sea level will be covered by water. That's why I am going to do research about Atlantis, the old city that is believed to be under the sea. I believe the world there are areas in the world that were below sea level, but before the water levels rose, people were living there. And when they lived there, because the water levels rose, what happened? Those cities were covered. So you can find under the sea, they could have been cities like Atlantis is believed to be under the sea. And I was asking myself whether Atlantis, let me not go to the comments, they're all of haters. So I was asking myself, it's just madness. This internet, sometimes when you want to laugh, just go to the comment section on YouTube. It's just is drama forever. So congratulate the world. They know how to add humor without going to acting school. So I don't need to go through those things. So Atlantis is a fictional island mentioned within an allegory of hubris of nations in Plato's works Timaeus and Critias, where it represents the antagonistic naval power that besieges ancient Athens. So it was not a real place, it was a fictional island. And I thought it would have been a real place. So the location are very many. Some people believe it was in the Minoan area, Santorini, and in 1964 discovery a crotiri of the island. This location is one of the many sites purported to have been the location of Atlantis. Some think it was in Israel, Canaan, or Libya. and then when an eruption happened, it was covered up. So anyway, I'm still going to do research about it. This is not, I don't want to go into it right now. We finished the videos, and it was a good journey to understand the minds of. So what I was trying to tell you is how climate change is also happening because of there are so many revolutions in this 20th and 21st century, and please grasp it. It may be so hard. The technological revolution is the hardest, is the greatest revolution ever. The greatest. You know why I'm stressing it, even shaking my head? It's the reality. It's the greatest revolution ever. And I don't know what to say. It's beyond words. The world is gone. Yes, the world as you knew it, the old world is gone. We are in a new world. That's why people look like, huh? Where are we going? Huh? Should we go here? It's because it's new. Have you, when you buy a new phone, when you buy a new phone, do you, when you buy a new phone and you don't know the make very well, why do you watch videos about how that phone is working? Why? It's because the phone, you don't know it. So you have to read and find out how that phone works. And guess what? The phone developers, they know how the phone is working. So to them, it's not new. It's a very old phone. Because they know its problems. And they know. But you, because you've bought it and you've not known it, you've not tested it, you've not experienced it, you don't know its problems and you don't know its errors. So that is life. That's why Yuval is saying that maybe we live in a world that is already programmed. Like for me personally, I believe life has already been programmed by the cosmic, the other astral plane. I believe they are aliens. Yes. And they're the ones who come as spirits. And when you die, you go back there and then they... And I believe that I have very many beliefs for information because now I have adopted AI theology. AI theology or AI philosophy is based on outcome knowledge, whereby you make decisions or you understand things based on outcomes. There are a billion, there are trillion outcomes. Yes. You can have a trillion definitions of God. And so that's what I'm doing. I can have a trillion beliefs. I can create 1 trillion religions right now. That's the beauty of AI. 1 trillion religions. I can create them. That's the beauty of AI. So, one of my 1 trillion religions is this, that whatever you're seeing on earth is in that other world. And even better. So what happens is, in this religion of mine, I don't know what to call it, in this religion of mine, the geniuses in the world, they're infiltrated, they're invaded by these alien spirits to create things. You see, a genius is a person who thinks of an invention. He comes and says there's a problem. Like, today I was feeling like, now I don't do YouTube live videos. So I was like, but what if Periscope had a floating, it was able to float on YouTube, and I can do the discussion at the same time I'm live. There are very few very few applications that do that. Excuse me. There are very few applications that do that. And even Facebook doesn't have that. Doesn't have that type of application. And so what I was saying is, you see, an inventor is going to think about how to solve that problem and will solve it. Very soon all applications will be floatable, and you'll able to record a video and play another video at the same time. They will have another audio channel so that you can record even over a video. That's what's going to happen. And these applications we have, all of them, they are going through evolution. Google Chrome, go and read the evolution of Google Chrome. Yes, just like humans had Homo habilis, Homo erectus, the hominids, then you have Homo sapiens, then now we have Homo deus. You know, I like the one of Harari, Homo deus. Yes, humans have become gods. Yes, that's what we should do. We are gods. Please understand. And the more knowledge you have, the more powerful you are. So get knowledge, and you will walk in this world as a god. No one will touch you. Yes, that's a fact. That's Homo deus, and that's where we're going. It's because of technology and the internet. Information technology has changed the world. And so now, because of that, I believe that in the other world, I'm still talking about my new religion I can create. I can create 1 trillion. So this is one of them. In this religion, whatever you see on earth, like Facebook, is in that religion, is in that world. So they so mark disturbing the science portal of social media networks, and they said, let's give him the knowledge to create a network. We have it here. Aren't we using Facebook? You know? Because in that cosmic world, it could be the people, they are working Facebooks, they are working computers, and that's where we're going. Very soon, you will talk to your friend, hey, where are you? No phone. And he will answer, I'm here. All right, good. So where do we meet? Let's go and meet in planet Mars. Yeah, I think we're gonna have a burger there. Yeah, okay. And he flies there to planet Mars, and he flies there to planet Mars, and you meet. No phone, just telepathic communication. That's where we are going. Right now, very few people are in that type of communication, but in a few years to come, everybody will be telepathic. There will be no need of Facebook. Facebook will be in your body. We will be one with technology. Technological singularity, as Ray Kurzweil predicted. I can't wait for Ray to sit down with Harari. Let's see if he sat down with him, and then we'll go. I wonder if Ray Kurzweil sat with Yuval. They haven't sat together. So we can't wait for that day when Yuval... No, I think did they sit together? I think they did. Let's see. But I don't think so. Yes, I don't think so, because Ray would have been there.
Hello. So welcome to this TED Dialogues, the first of a series that's really we've done in response to the current political upheaval. I don't know about you, I've become quite concerned about the growing divisiveness in the...
No, Ray hasn't met with Yuval. I can't wait for that interview or conversation with Ray Kurzweil, because Ray has predicted the technological singularity, and this is what I'm going to say. Everybody will be one and we'll be walking androids. Yes, we'll be walking androids. The internet will be in us. You'll just do a search. I want to look for Yuval Harari on Wikipedia, and it will come to your head, and then you'll be reading it without reading your phone. You'll just be seeing it in your head, and it's flowing. Whoa, oh, Kaba. That's what's going to happen. It's going to happen. That's where we're going, where the world is always evolving. Humans are always evolving. Nature is always evolving. Climate change is evolution. It's cosmological evolution. That's why we are fighting it, because we are not ready. We don't have plan B. If we had plan B, my God, McDonald's will be everywhere. You know, Mercedes-Benz will put plants in every country. But because we don't have a plan B planet, we are like, hey, oh my God, we are racing against time, because cosmology is time. It's time. That's why the people who believe in the end of the world, they are not bothering themselves to study what's happening. They're just saying, I think we're just waiting for Jesus. He's just going to come right now, because things are so bad, we can't fix a thing. And for me, I've left that thinking. I'm enjoying it, I'm enjoying it, and we are working to make the world better and to solve the problems of the world faster, so that we don't suffer loss. So the world, that's what we're doing, and we are very happy about knowledge. Oh, now these days I'm very happy about how my life is going. Of course, not that I'm not going through struggles. The LGBTQ life is filled with struggles. That one, go and ask any LGBTQ person. But when it comes to seeking of knowledge, I'm very grateful to the sources, the library and internet I am able to access. That's why I do these videos. I am very happy about that, because I'm reading and understanding the world, and it's not really a bad place. It's a place, and I know I have friends who like asking the meaning of life, and for me, I think I've already got the meaning of life. Life is about building systems. Yes, that's what we are all builders. When you're born, you came as a builder. You're building a system. The systems and everything is a system. Music is a system, so that if you are a musician, you will enter that system and build it, make it better, come with new ideas, try them. When you are a politician, all of us are politicians. That's why we vote. You vote a guy who you feel like this guy is a leader. He can give me, I like his leadership style, so I'm going to vote for him. You see, that's a politician. Politicians vote. So you are a politician. And because you're a politician, you're building the system. Like everyone who voted for Trump, that is your administration. You're in power. So carry the burden. And if you didn't vote for Trump and you don't like him, work hard to remove him. Because if you don't, he'll remain. And his team will remain. So I always tell people, if you voted for somebody and that person is in power, then you are the one who is in power. And so whenever things are going wrong, just remember your vote. And try and make the system work. So we are all builders, and some of us die early. It's like building. Have you seen, like, the Notre Dame was on fire? Do you know how many years it took to build it? Over 100 years. So what does that tell you? Some builders never saw the end product of Notre Dame. And that's what life is, Like I tell LGBTQ persons, don't worry when you see LGBTQ persons dying, and because of very many complications, HIV and other diseases. It's part of life. It shouldn't stop you from building the LGBTQ world, your life. and we go on building till we die, because we don't know when you're going to die. So every day we are building the systems. We are in different systems. Some of us are in the political systems, some of us are in economic systems, some of us are in spiritual systems, some of us are in sexual systems, some of us are in intellectual systems, some of us are, we are all working, we are all busy. Even the ones who are sick in hospital, you think they are not building? They are building. Their sickness is an object of study. That's why, to me, I always tell people there is nobody who is useless. Everyone is valuable. Even the one in hospital, very valuable to me, because I will study this person's genetic makeup, study what the disease is doing to that genetic strain, and then write about what diabetes or what lung cancer or what prostate cancer does to a genetic haplogroup E1B 1A 1A, and you write a book on just one genetic strain because of this one patient and how prostate cancer took him. And every day I go and visit him, and I'm taking notes and looking at him, at the different treatments. And when he dies, I can write a book. And then, if I'm a kind man, when I make money, I will give royalties to the family and say, I know your father or son died because of prostate cancer, and I looked at him, and it was a very interesting journey he had. And I had to write about it for my other scientists to understand how to deal when they meet someone in this genetic makeup and this prostate cancer. And now I made good money from the books, the bookstore. So I want to share some of it with you. And they get the money. So you see, is that person's prostate cancer bad to the family? No, it has blessed them. They have got money. So there is nothing in this world that is useless. Even when you have a sick condition, we help you and we study you. And if you want to die, assisted suicide, please, it's okay. Leave the world. It's not a sin to commit suicide. Yes, that one we've already discussed in our theological channel. No one is going to hell because they committed suicide. Suicide happens. In fact, you study the person. Oh my, if I was in charge of these LGBT organizations, I would create a division, health, science, health, LGBT science, health division. Get the genetic makeup of those people. Sit with each and every one of them. Because everyone's experience is very important. It's data. That's what I want you to understand. Everything is data. And because everything is data, everything is valuable. Everything has money. Every experience, every life is valuable. And you go and study that person and you read before they commit suicide, like transgenders. It's very possible for them to commit suicide because not only do they have transphobia, they also have a conflict in their body. Because, you can be somebody who is masculine and yet you're feminine, but you want to lie in your feminine side. So there will be a war, a very bad psychological war. Like I like a painting I put up in the Rex Arthur Gallery of the transgender person that was stabbing himself because he feels he's a her. And so the painter did a very good work. I don't know if I have it near me. No, I don't have it. I don't want to look for it now. Time is gone. And stabbed themselves because of the war. It's so much. It's so much. I just can't hold it. And that's what happens. So they commit suicide. Are they going to hell? No. They are transgender. That's the struggle they go through. So psychologists, psychiatrists have a lot of work Yes, they have a lot of work to sit down and study transgenders and write about them. There are so many books to write. Oh, too many. So many books to write about incarceration in America. Too many. I'm telling you, where is the money to pay all those people? There is work, but is there money? And that's the question. So thank you so much for joining us for our discussion with Yuval Harari and Mark Zuckerberg. We will be doing more dialectics for philosophical reasons. Goodbye.